Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news for the 9th of July 2022. I hope you all enjoyed that video there, the most recent one on the F-16. This was a little bonus video all about mark points, an interesting topic and one that's only just recently been fully supported. So that's a bit of fun. I've still got the FA-18C tutorial series kind of on hold just now while I wait to see what happens with the weapons. But in the meantime, if anyone has suggestions for F-16, GF-17 or Harrier videos they would like to see, then I'm very happy to do those in the meantime. Welcome to the stream, Frantic Stone. You were indeed first, which is important on the internet, apparently. Tog, welcome. It's indeed not a tornado. Storm Kimbari, welcome. Weren't you watching the lovely tutorial on mark points? And hello. Byron, welcome. dotChuckles. Oh, dotChuckles. I did not know that you were trying to contact me. Oh dear. I will bring you in just a moment in that case. I have all notifications turned off while I'm streaming, so I can't hear that you're trying to get me. Frantic, don't like the 16, it's not a NATO. Dave Flute, welcome. Tech Gaming 45, welcome. And Tog, welcome. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit dodgy because I don't normally try to do stuff like this live, but let's see if we can bring dotChuckles into the call live and see what happens. There may or may not be technical problems as I try to do this. Hello, dotChuckles. Hopefully you can actually hear me. I've got I'm bringing you into the stream just now, and once I can confirm that you can actually hear me, I'll bring you on screen as well, sir. So hopefully this is all working. This is a very last-minute addition. Very excited to see you again, sir. I don't know if you can hear me though. Can you hear me at all? He said hello. The only thing is, I don't know if he's hearing me in real time or not, or if he's just hearing me through the stream. We're going to give this just a moment. There may or may not be technical problems with this. I can hear you, but I'm hearing you very, very... Well, I hear you in real time, but I think you're responding to my stream and not to Discord. So, I'm messaging him just now. Hopefully we'll get this all sorted. Can you hear me in real time in Discord? I can, and so with that, I'm going to see if I can bring you on screen, and then everybody will see you normally again. Oh my, here we go. The technology works, everyone. Oh, and then people are saying they can't hear you, so let's just stand by. I bet I can fix that fairly easily. It will just be the wrong device.
It helps if I actually say something so that people can...
That's it, you're live.
Fist. There we go. Right, finally. There we go.
Fantastic. So good to have you aboard, sir.
Thank you. It has been a while, and it wasn't looking like I was going to make it today, but actually in the end. And then I was calling, going, actually, I can, and I got no answer.
Yeah, I have all notifications turned off so I don't get distracted while I'm streaming, so sorry about that. But you got me in the end. And hopefully everyone can confirm that you can hear Chuck. Yeah, everyone's saying yay, I can hear him now. There we go, yeah. So that's all it was. When I first established the call, I had the wrong audio device.
That is good, that is good.
Nice. Welcome to the DCS news stream, Mr. Chuck.
Thank you.
It's very, very nice to see you again. I was just talking about how I've kind of got the FA-18C tutorial series on hold just now, simply because the two weapons I was trying to show people, the Slam and the Harpoon, are behaving weird in certain modes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait until ED have got them working correctly.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's been a bloody long while. It has been a bloody long while, and apologies to everybody that I've not been around, but there was some medical drama which is in the process of being rectified, and I am doing a lot better now.
I don't think apologies are in order, sir. You've got to look after yourself, number one.
Well, yeah, but it has kind of severely limited what I've been able to do. But coming back to things, little increments, and yes. So here we are. We can do the stream again.
Hey, this is very. I'm actually super excited about this. You took me by surprise. I thought I was going to be without you today, and there you are. You swoop in at the last moment. Very, very glad to have you aboard.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So, with that, shall we move on to the news, perhaps?
Yeah, I think so. Let's have a look at what's been going on.
What deliciousness we have.
Yeah. Kicking off with the newsletter. So let's. Do you want to talk us through that?
Indeed. I'll do my usual. I'll read out the thing that everybody else could quite easily read themselves, but this is why it's in video format. Dear fighter pilots, partners and friends, not all of us are fighter pilots, some of us are mud movers. We would like to thank all who have taken advantage of the great deals on offer during our ongoing summer sale, and to kindly invite those of you who are still considering a purchase to please be aware that the closing day on the sale will be the 11th of July at 1500 GMT. Don't miss out on this chance to discover something special at a great bargain price across our entire range of modules. Thank you. This week, we're delighted to present you with the progress report from our third-party partner, Aerges Engineering, who have been working tirelessly to bring you something really special and exotic in the near future. DCS Mirage F1, coming July 20th, 2022, which by my calculations, Chuck and chat, is in only 11 days.
11 days. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Is the Mirage F1 exotic, considering how widely exported it was? I don't know if that's a particularly good description of it, but marketing types have to hyperbolize some way. So
I guess. Also, maybe this is Eagle trying to say that it's exotic because it's quite far from anything they would have created, because they're very into the modern day stuff.
True.
I'm actually just going to quickly check on chat. Byron Farrow saying loud and growly, which is good.
That's me.
Frantic Stone, I'm not surprised after you kicked the absolute arse out of it at the wedding. Oh, witnessed.
Yeah. It was actually like a 2-month hangover. That's what it was.
Exactly. Tech Gaming 45. The older you get, the longer it lasts. Well, ain't that the truth?
Very true.
Paul Dillon saying hello to everybody. Channel Right, glad to see you back. dotChuckles. Byron saving my pennies for the F1. Oh.
Good call.
Tog, that's why they make it the Op4 jet of choice when doing red flag.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know this.
True. Yeah, it's widely used in Op4 stuff. Yep. The
F1 is the gateway to the Jag.
No. It's Jag. That's how that's pronounced. It's the I've got a Jag.
Channeling our man Jeremy Clarkson there.
Indeed, yeah.
Continuing with the news, we're also keen to present you with the progress on our upcoming B-52H strategic bomber, which will be available soon as an AI asset. Sadly, not flyable.
I saw the pictures of that, and it is looking really nice because like the I think the one in game, if memory serves, goes like way back to the Lomac days. Like it's super ancient.
Yes.
So it's good that it's getting updated, and it looks really nice actually. It's some nice modeling work going on with that.
And this is the latest of the AI models that they're updating. They've been working their way through a whole bunch of these, which is nice to see. So yeah, currently we're working hard on texturing. We hope you will appreciate the level of detail which we're investing in this incredibly special and historical aircraft, and check out the inspiring development screenshots. Well, don't mind if I do. And in development screenshots, ooh, what's that? It's a Mirage F1. Whoops, I showed that first. I'm not sorry. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Really nice camo in that one as well. I wonder what Air Force is that? I'm not even sure. There's a wee roundel here, but I don't know it.
It's not Iraqi?
Could be. It's their camouflage pattern. Yeah.
It kind of looks it, doesn't it? Like, that's kind of, no, the numbers on the side don't look right for the board number. Yeah, don't know. Not sure.
It's a nice one anyway. And then next, oops, another F1. Oh my, what a mistake. This one's French.
Oh no.
Armée de l'Air, of course. And then another Mirage. This one's the same as the first one. Oh, someone said Spanish. That may well be the case.
That would make sense. That would make sense, yeah.
And then finally, now we get to the B-52. Now, it's not textured, of course, yet, but you can see a lot of detail there inside the flap wells and so on, which is cool. And we've also got a nice detail shot of not only the flaps, but also the slat mechanisms there. That's looking pretty nicely modelled. I also want to call out all these panels and rivets. That's really nice to see.
So that's like any old aircraft as it sort of expands and contracts and expands and contracts and go through flight regimes. Those panels kind of effectively stretch a bit, and then when they sort of relax back, you get like these bulges, from the skin. You look at any old metal aircraft, you're going to see that. And given that like the majority of the B-52 airframes go back, God, 50
60s?
years. 50, 60 years. Yeah, they're old airframes because obviously, they just when they brought out the new blocks, like there was some that were made from new, but like majority it's sort of taking old airframes and they just chop the bits off and put new bits on. So like there's some parts of these airframes that are really, really quite old. And the crazy thing is that it's predicted that like these jets will be flying when they're nearly 100 years old. That's the predicted lifespan.
Do we have anything else that's that kind of age today?
No. I mean, you're talking about, this is the equivalent. Like, this right now. The B-52 is flying around now. It would be the equivalent of like the RAF using Lancasters in the 90s. You know what I mean? It's just it's bonkers. But yeah, they're talking about this being a 100-year aircraft before they actually replace them.
I guess the only thing that would come close would be if the RAF were still using Comets, but they haven't for a while.
Well, no, until quite recently. If you think about when the Nimrod got axed, which was only 10 years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, those were Comet 4s.
Mm-hmm. So that's getting close, but it's not quite as old.
Yeah. No, I don't think we've got anything that comes close. I mean, it's a testament to the engineering of the aircraft. I mean, very, very well engineered aircraft, and with the new engine upgrade that it's about to get.
Haven't they been promising an engine upgrade for the last 40 years?
No, it's genuinely about to happen. It is actually literally about to happen. I think they're starting to actually put them on aircraft now.
Okay, that'd be nice because they've been stuck with the original engines for a very long time.
Yeah, which I mean, they're super old, and I mean, I want to say it's the same engine that used to be on the Sabre. I might be wrong. Yeah, like it was an engine that was developed for another aircraft, and they kind of said, right, well, we'll just put 8 of them on the thing.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic aircraft. It is, it's an absolute testament. Probably the equivalent, like the nearest equivalent I can think of is the Tu-95. Similar sort of age.
That's a really good point, actually. How old is the Tu-95? Because that's still very much in service.
It's about the same. It's about the same. I think that they're sort of contemporary with each
1952.
other. And they will probably, the Tu-95 will be around as long.
Yeah. Here we go. Chat, as always, supplying the facts. Byron, oldest combat airplane in service are the Colombian AC-47s. Re-engined by Basler, but one of the current active airframes saw service on D-Day.
Jesus.
Brilliant.
That's bonkers. That's bonkers.
Paul Dillon, skin ripples.
Yeah. I have a few of them. I'm sitting on one of them.
Frantic Stone, he said bulge, giggle. Yes. Thank you, chat. You supply both the keks and the facts.
Yeah. Sorry,
Cool
I'm
stuff.
just
Do we have any more of these? No, then it's back to the other stuff that we've shown before. So yeah, a bunch of really nice pics of the F1 and a couple of nice pics of the B-52 there as well. Back to the newsletter. They're continuing to mention the summer sale, 2022 summer sale. Up to 50% discount, pardon me, on most of our modules. Most campaigns are included. You all already know about this. I've spoken about this the last 2 weeks, so everybody knows the summer sale is going on. And the thing to note is, this offer ends on the 11th of July at 1500 GMT. Then, probably what you're all way more interested in, this is actually a slightly reduced version of the announcement that Aerges has made, but I'll go over this one anyway. Development update on the Mirage F1. After the early access release of the Mirage F1, the immediate focus of Aerges engineering team will be on completing the remaining Mirage F1 CE work-in-progress systems. I believe that's the only aircraft that you're getting at early access release. In particular, several radar scan modes, the radio navigation modes of the autopilot, and the implementation of the S-530F Super Matra missile. Thereafter, work will continue on the other variants of the Mirage F1, starting with the Mirage F1 EE. Once air-to-air refueling is completed, the inertial navigation system and the new RWR will be delivered, and the EE will be ready for release. The rear cockpit and multiplayer interaction of the F1 BE will be the following task. The final step will be the Mirage F1 M radar, screens, armament, and radios. So... Is this like 1, 2, 3, 4 variants of the F1 we're getting in this package?
If that is the case, that's some pretty good value right there.
Value for money, people.
Got to admit, that's pretty good. Yeah, 4 variants. That's really cool. I mean, obviously, it's not the variant that I would be super excited for, but I mean, it's practically the same, but. Yeah, that's some pretty good value. And again, I'll say it again. I'm really excited for the F1 to come out. It sort of really represents the era of combat aircraft that I love. Just before computers took over, but far enough into modern jets to have it still have some cool stuff.
Yeah. It has some capability.
So, yeah. And it just looks really cool. It's got and the HUD as well. It's got that kind of, back in the the 70s when they were trying to work out what a HUD should do, and you had lots of weird things that cropped up on different aircraft, like the Viggens HUD, it's got that kind of quirkiness to it, which I think kind of
the Viggens HUD is particularly
fun to fly.
It's particularly interesting because it's almost designed like for pure minimalism. It's like most of the time it shouldn't display anything, and then under certain regimes it displays just as little as possible to let you get your job done.
Yeah, I said that they were still sort of really figuring, at that time they were still kind of really figuring out what the ergonomics of that kind of thing should be. I don't know, is ergonomics the right word? Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
And so you just got a bunch of weird and wonderful stuff. And the F1 sort of sits in that area as well. So yeah, it pretty much is a perfect example of the kind of aircraft that I just love. So I'm probably going to fly this quite a lot, I think.
I'm definitely going to give it a go. It looks rather nice. Daniel, welcome to the stream. He asks anything about the AV-8B Harrier. As always, of course, I've been lurking in Razbam's Discord, and the most recent things they've been talking about are they still have all the same stuff in the list, so they have a bunch of additional features they would like to implement, but the impression I get is that just now we're only really going to be seeing small fixes and tweaks. Bigger features are not going to come until after the Strike Eagle is kind of put to bed, so I would not expect to see very much happening with the Harrier anytime soon. That seems to be the official line. And in fairness, the Harrier is actually quite complete. You know, there's a bunch of little gaps that I would like to see filled, but for the most part, the Harrier works fine.
Yeah. I mean, Razbam, they're quite busy right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, the thing is, it's like with the Harrier, there's a lot of bugs, absolutely, and you know, there's some annoying stuff with it. But there's nothing totally show-stopping.
No.
You know, there's nothing that's sort of fundamentally broken. There's a lot of stuff that would be nice from a sound perspective or an aesthetic perspective. You know,
Razbam and other people on the Razbam Discord would be sick of me going on about that because I post every couple of months about that.
Yeah, the buzzsaw.
I want my buzzsaw.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, there's nothing like massively show-stopping, so I can kind of forgive them for moving on, you know, to a very or dedicating the time to a very well-awaited aircraft as the Mudhen. And we've talked about the Mudhen a lot, and like, you know, we've got opinions on it, but you know, I'm still excited to see it come.
Oh, me very much so. Yes, I'm very excited to see it come. And actually, I have to say, you know, while the Harrier does have bugs, probably like the last 3 or 4 things that I found in the module that I thought were bugs were actually me misusing the aircraft. And so I had to, because you got to keep in mind the Harrier's avionics are super bizarre. And so,
yes.
So often when you think you found a bug, what you've actually found is a weird way in which the aircraft actually operates in real life.
Yeah, but because I mean, even that era of Harrier, it's still, you know, built on top of an airframe that comes from the 60s. You know, and the avionics, even aspects of the avionics, you know, it's like, I mean, the use of the targeting pod on the Harrier is a total shit show, you know. So like, there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, I found a bug with the targeting pod and it does it," and it's like, no, that's how it, you know, that's what happens.
Yeah, my targeting pod keeps turning itself off when I bring up my Mavericks. It's like, yep, it only has one video feed.
Yeah, and they repurposed the hot plug on the pylon to make it work. So, you know, but. Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, that era of Harrier was a bit of a shit show, you know, and didn't really kind of get fixed until much later on. You know, just in time for the British government to scrap it. Fucking idiots!
Don't, you'll make me cry. I'm so sad. I'm so sad that we got rid of it.
I know. So yeah, it is like the bugs that people find. It's like, it's not a bug; it is actually a feature.
Yep, this is the Harrier way.
Yeah, this is the way.
Dan Pop, welcome to the stream. Tech Gaming 45. Nothing game breaking on the AV8, but they have made the M2K better. And yeah, I would totally agree. Like the level of love that has been lavished on the Mirage is has not been equally applied to the Harrier.
I think, well, the thing is though, is that there's a financial incentive there, isn't there? Because part of the love that got dumped onto the Mirage is because they were getting paid to do that by the French Air Force, you know.
Yes. That's true.
You know, so I mean, that's just economics, basically. So unless, you know, somebody's looking for a desktop trainer for a 15, 20-year-old Harrier, I think that's probably, you know...
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The only people who are still flying them are the US Marine Corps in Spain, as far as I'm aware. Am I right in thinking that Italy used to have them as well, but I'm not even sure if Italy still flies them.
I can't remember. I don't know. Yeah.
Nice. Anyway, continuing with the news, AI B-52 Stratofortress. In the screenshots above, you can see the characteristic stressed skin body of the aircraft. Initial work has begun on external texturing. Next, the chassis niches, bomb bay, and cockpit will be painted. Dirt, dust, signs of wear, identification marks, and technical inscriptions will also be applied.
And the funny thing is looking at the front of that B-52 in the photograph is pretty much everything on the front of that is redundant now.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't use those EO systems on the front on the nose anymore. It's all they actually just stick a targeting pod under the wing now because it's much better.
That makes a lot of sense. So lots of redundant electronics. Yeah,
pretty much. They hardly ever spin those things around anymore. It's all I think they stick I think it's Sniper they put on it, but yeah,
I've seen pictures of it with Sniper, and actually I think Eagle have actually said they're modelling Sniper on the AI units as well.
Yeah. Because that edition, the EO that they've got that's on there, I mean, that edition was done like before Sniper was a thing, so it's like quite old tech and the resolution's not that great and blah 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 blah. So yeah, they just mount a pod on the wing and get far better fidelity off of that.
Yep, does the job.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on with the news, we have an interesting one that I've not seen that much coverage of up until now, and it's Octopus G and their Su-22. So actually, I kind of missed this one. This one's really from last week. But we got a video from Octopus G demonstrating the startup of the Su-22. We can see here that the cockpit is mostly not textured. However, a lot of the switchology seems to be working already, so they clearly already have at least some systems modeling going on. And yeah, they demonstrate a full startup of the aircraft, setting it up for takeoff. And then they demonstrate what happens when you put the wings at different levels of sweep while in flight, what effects that has on airspeed, stall speed, and so on. So this is a nice little video. This kind of lets us know that they are working on it, and clearly they're making some progress. An interesting aircraft, one that is still used. Actually, I think even the Russians were still using these, right? Because were they not using these in Syria?
Is this not the Su-22? Is it not a update to the fitter, the Su-17?
It is indeed. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Thought it was. No, this aircraft's still in service. I'm pretty sure this is still in service. And I think Syria. I think you're right.
Because it was at least one of these, I think, that was shot down by Turkey in northwestern Syria.
Yeah. And they were still building them, I think, until not that long ago. Like I'm pretty sure they were still building them in my lifetime. Yeah. Like I want to say they were still building them in the 80s,
I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
And I find it kind of mildly amusing that it has a kind of combination fixed wing swing wing, that like the first third of the wing is fixed and then it has these little swing wing components on the end.
Actually, like thinking about that, it's actually pretty smart design decision if you have limited technological capability. Because, solving the problem of having the wings pivot there versus in a big wing box, in the center and having the whole wing move and having to have pylons that swivel and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty smart because you're still going to get kind of the same some of the same aerodynamic benefits.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's pretty smart.
Byron's saying in chat that I'm probably mistaken. I'm probably thinking the Su-24, and he may well be correct. This might be a little bit earlier than the one I'm thinking of. And actually, the one I'm thinking of is a twin seat, and I think this is maybe a single seater.
Yeah. So I'm I'm just having a wee look. So, nope. Okay. Yes, it was an Su-22 that was shot down over Syria.
Oh, well, there you go. And that was flown by the Russian Air Force, so it must be in some kind of service with them.
Yeah. So, Syrian Air Force Su-22, 14th of February 2013, rebel forces shot it down using man-pads. In 2017, an F-18 Super Hornet engaged and shot down a Syrian Su-22 after it dropped munitions on US-backed forces. According to the wingman, the Super Hornet that made the kill said the pilot was able to eject. And then in 2018, another Syrian Su-22 which entered Israeli airspace and was shot down by 2 Patriot missiles.
They've not had much luck then, have they?
Yeah, but is it the aircraft or is it the pilot?
Well, yeah. I'd also keep in mind that these are pretty ancient aircraft. They do not have INS. They may or may not be carrying like third-party GPS units. They probably barely know where they are most of the time.
Yeah. And in 2015, the Polish Air Force has refitted 12 Su-22 M4s.
Wow.
So that would seem to indicate that it is still in service in Poland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And actually, this one here is labeled Su-22 M4. If you look at the video, bottom left.
Yeah.
So that's what they're modeling.
It's one of the refitted ones. Okay.
But it does not look particularly advanced. I can see it has a radar scope. I really don't see any other kind of modern equipment on it at all.
Yeah.
Here we've got a little demonstration of the flight model.
Yeah, and apparently they were still building them in 1990.
Bloody hell.
There we go. I was right. I thought it was still in my lifetime. These things were still getting made.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess at the end of the day, it's basically a strike/CAS aircraft. So its only purpose is to get there quick, drop stuff, and run away.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like three of the Su-22s were shot down over Syria. So that's it's not had an amazing combat record in Syria. Yeah.
No. And here we are, we're just observing a landing. So this was quite nice. They showed us a startup, a takeoff, what happens at different regimes with different wing settings, and now how to get the damn thing on the ground. Center line. What's your center line?
That view forward, it reminds me so much of the Su-25.
It's very, very similar.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's a nice one. Octopus G clearly making some progress there with that one. And perhaps we'll see that at some point soon. Some more updates. Another thing that we saw this week was a very, very nice video from our man Red Kite.
I always like his stuff. Like his stuff.
He's super good. And chat, take a close look at the HUD there, and you'll see the kind of thing that dotChuckles was talking about. To my mind, I don't actually know technically how the HUD is created, but it very much looks like multiple projections. It doesn't look like a single unified projection to me, but I don't know. Don't know how the damn thing works.
I might be mistaken as well. But I think there's color elements on the F1 HUD.
There are. It's displaying at least 2 colors.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. So Red Kite posted this video. He seems to be the official tutorial video content creator for Aerges, and this one is all about in-flight relight, which is something you might need to do if you handle the aircraft poorly and manage to get compressor stalls. So there you go. He's just lost his engine. And he's going to demonstrate how you get that thing lit. And it seems to be mostly about maintaining airspeed, entering a shallow dive, and flicking a switch. Much like in most aircraft, really.
Most aircraft, yeah.
Happy they're doing the current Polish model, says Byron. Yeah, it seems to be the current Polish version of the Su-22. So not really too much to say about this. Our man Red Kite demonstrates exactly what you need to do to get the thing running again. And in this particular example, he's pretty close to the ground when he manages to get it relit and working again, straight into Afterburner and make some climb.
Yeah, there's low to the ground. It's kind of what the Mirage does. There's some fantastic videos of some insane low passes with these things.
Well, yeah, if it's the French Air Force as well, that just seems to be what they do.
Yeah.
They do like to fly low. But yeah, again, this is our opportunity to get a closer look at this really nicely modelled cockpit as well. Looking very, very nice. And of course, only 11 days before you can get your hands on this in early access, which is pretty exciting.
You can see the Mirage 2000's DNA really in this aircraft, can't you? Like, look at that throttle, for example.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're almost the same.
It's the same throttle, and yeah.
And even the positions of some of the instruments, and that artificial horizon is pretty much the exact same type as you have on the M2000. So
it's very 60s ADI,
Yeah, it's very, very nice. So that's it. 5 videos now in Red Kite's playlist for Mirage F1 CE tutorials. So go ahead and check that out. Big shout out to Red Kite, really excellent content creator for DCS.
The thing that I'd be interested to see is what they're doing around the navigation system in it, because if memory serves, the F1 had a bit of a bonkers inertial nav system.
The CE doesn't even have inertial nav.
Doesn't it? Right.
It's the
I must
EE.
be thinking. Right. Okay. Because it was like, and I think it's like what kind of ended up like its history, its heritage is what ended up in Concorde.
Oh wow.
Or like a variant of it ended up in Concorde. Like it's very very old school buttons, kind of mechanical switches and electro-optical stuff, plunk buttons and to and all that kind of stuff.
I might be wrong, but as I recall, the CE does not have INS, and in the EE model does.
Right. Okay.
So in the CE, the primary navigation is just TACAN. And actually, the TACAN navigation integration is actually quite good, because it supports, even though the whole instrument and so on is very mechanical, it actually supports quite advanced features like TACAN offsets and so on. So you can actually navigate quite effectively just using TACAN in the CE.
Okay, all right.
Lots of little rotaries to turn.
Yeah, I guess the CE variant, it doesn't have to go very far. It's like, there they are, go and shoot them. Whereas the EE's like, actually we might have to figure out where we are and get there and do stuff. Yeah.
And as I understand it, the EE has a somewhat glass cockpit and colour displays and so on. So it's a little bit more advanced, which is pretty cool. Next, Aerges on their Facebook page have been posting a screenshot a day for a little while, and I thought that perhaps we could flick through a few of these, because they're rather nice. So on screen just now, I've got the first one, a nice formation of 4 F1s, and actually, if you look very closely, the roundel on... Oh, that's not a roundel, that's a warning symbol, but it really made me think of the VAF roundel. But it's actually just a warning placard.
Yeah.
Yep, here we go. A nice shot of the cockpit. And just at the bottom right here, this is the TACAN instrument or navigational instrument I was talking about. It has a bunch of different modes that it can be put into, and it can actually give you quite good navigational information.
Do you know what my little disappointment with this shot is? If you look at the altimeter, the VSI, not the altimeter, the ASI and the VSI.
Yeah.
They're flat animated textures rather than modeled.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah, that's my little disappointment. Like the ADI there, nicely modeled, all good. The backup ADI, it looks like that's flat as well. Like these gauges, just like that's guys, guys.
And it was actually, I think, Heat Blur with the Viggen were one of the first DCS modules to actually include fully modelled instruments in 3D.
Yeah. Like, that's like, don't get me wrong, the rest of it is like really nice and it's textured and looks lovely and all that kind of stuff. But that, like I wouldn't be necessarily showing that screenshot off if I was Aerges. It's like, hey, look at the shortcut we took.
Well, it's still early access. It may be subject to change.
True. That's very true.
And then here we go. Nice pic of it in Afterburner, doing its thing.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Tiger tails. Yeah. Loving it.
And here we go. That's nice, in close formation, with what looks like... I don't even know what those guided missiles are.
Is that the Matra?
Could be, although it looks like it has an optical sensor on the front.
Huh.
Whereas I would assume the Matra would just have like a matte radome. Ooh, thank you very much, Frantic Stone. He's just given a donation to the channel. So, Tornado News. It was foreshadowed that the arrival of Chuck represents good news. Well, the arrival of Chuck always means good news.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I suspect, although I don't know, this is an air-to-ground missile with some kind of optical sensor. But then how would you actually steer that with something like the F1, which doesn't have a TV screen?
Well, what I'm thinking of is kind of similar vintage. I forget the name of the missile. It was used in Vietnam where the pilot actually steered it. It had like a flare
on the back.
And he steered it that way. I wonder if it's like the same kind of thing that you guide it in whilst you're flying. Jesus. Yeah, that's not going to be hard.
The MiG-21 had something a little bit like this, but it worked with the radar, the air-to-air radar, in a special mode where it just fired a radar beam.
Like a beam rider, yeah.
It was a beam rider, but for radar. So yeah, who knows? During this era, there were all kinds of crazy solutions to these problems.
Yeah.
Next, got an F1 taking off with some nice vapor trails. And big fuel tanks on that boy. And I think that's the very last one. Yeah, then we're back to the first one. So, nice series of F1 pictures there for you all. I hope you enjoy. And then on to Aerges' Facebook page. Now, give me one moment. I'm going to flip views while I make sure that I don't make the same mistake I made before in having my email address visible. Nope, we're good. Let's continue. And go to this Facebook page. Module makers, please think of people like me who don't have a Facebook account.
Who the hell puts... I mean, Facebook, how is that even still relevant now?
Well, I don't like it, but I recognise that most people do, and it's still a thing.
Well, most people don't even know.
Well, yeah, maybe not.
Most people have moved on from Facebook. Like, Jesus, how? Like, it's just the relevance of Facebook. Like, come on.
So yeah, following on from the little development update we had in Eagle Dynamics newsletter this week, we actually have a more complete development update here on Aerges' Facebook page. So let me see if I can quickly summarise this for everyone. So they state, this was actually just posted yesterday. After years of work and dedication, the whole Aerges engineering team is happy to announce that our DCS Mirage F1 module will be released in early access on the 20th of this month, that is July 2022. This is our full development report. The Aerges engineering team is pleased to introduce the DCS Mirage F1. The Mirage F1 is a legendary single... Okay, I'm not going to read all this. We know all of these things. Okay, early access features. This is what we care about. In the release into early access, the Mirage F1 CE will be available in an almost complete state. As development continues, the other Mirage F1 planned models, that is the EE, the BE, and the M. Oh, so I was wrong when I said the EE had the screens. It's the M that has the fancy screens. Will be added. Some of the most relevant features available at the release date are professional flight model, PFM, based on performance and engineering data of the real aircraft, situations of high angle of attack and outside the flight envelope like stalls and spins are also accurately represented. Extensive and detailed simulation of all flight systems. That includes flight control system, both in its normal electro-hydraulic mode and in degraded modes. The Snecma ATAR 9K-50 engine, including working envelope, damage, compressor stalls, flameouts, and emergency modes. The Serrano 4M radar, a unique Cold War era radar in DCS. The electrical system, the hydraulic system, the fuel system, navigational suite, which includes the the navigational indicator, the IDN, TACAN and VOR, so yeah, no INS. Radios, TRAP 136 and TRAP 137B. Electromechanical 1970s era Thompson optical sight. Ooh, a predecessor of present-day HUDs. So, yeah, very, very interesting. Integrated ALE 40 countermeasure suite. Internal and external lighting, armament system, RWR, extremely high-quality 3D model based on blueprints and laser scanning of a real Mirage F1, includes animations, lights, and damage model. Very accurate 6DOF cockpit with realistic and detailed instruments and controls. Variety of air-to-air and air-to-ground weapons, some of them not seen before in DCS. Short-range infrared missiles, the Matra R550 Magic 1, the AIM-9J, the AIM-9JULI, and the AIM-9B. Medium-range missiles in the form of the Matra R350IR and EM missile. Oh, there you go. So there's an IR version of the missile. That almost certainly is what we saw.
I disagree, and I think Byron agrees with me. I believe that missile's a Matra Martel.
Oh, that's the one that's coming later, I think they said.
Yeah. Yeah, Matra Martel, TV guided.
Very nice.
Yeah. So
very nice. Rocket launchers in the form of the Matra F1 and F4, anti-runway Durandal and cluster Beluga bombs, the SAMP family of bombs, both freefall and parachute equipped, laser guided GBU-10, GBU-12, GBU-16, other American and Spanish made bombs. Sound modelling based on recordings from a real aircraft, extremely realistic flyable simulation of the Mirage F1, CE, EE, BE, and M models. The EE, BE, and M will be released after the initial release of the CE. AI models from most other variants of the Mirage F1, including C, CT, CR, EQ, EDA, ... suggesting there might be some more. That's cool. A vast variety of liveries for the different countries that operated the aircraft, interactive training and practice missions that will help you gain proficiency in the F1, PDF user manual, and then they talk about the next steps in development. So the immediate focus of the team is the completion of the remaining work in progress systems in the Mirage F1 CE. In particular, some scan modes of the radar, the radio navigation modes of the autopilot, and the implementation of the S-530F Super Matra missile. After that, work will continue on other variants of the aircraft, starting with the Mirage F1 EE. When air-to-air refueling, the inertial navigation system, and the new RWR are completed, the EE will be ready for release. The rear cockpit and multiplayer interaction of the F1 BE will be the following task. Finally, the new systems, radar screens, armament, radios of the F1M will complete the development of the DCS Mirage F1 module. So, there you go, everybody. That is the complete development update, and it's not going to be long now before you can get your hands on a CE model.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And I'm assuming, dotChuckles, that this is going to be a fairly early purchase for yourself.
Oh God, yeah. Day one. Like I say, I've got family connection to the aircraft, so it's like gotta buy it.
Yeah. Lucky it was only your email address, says Frantic. Mistakes were made.
Yeah, not your weird porn collection.
No. So that's elsewhere.
Yeah.
Cool. So that is, in fact, all of the news items that we had for this week. I guess the main one, the one overshadowing everything else, being the Mirage F1 just about to be released. Let us know if we've forgotten anything, chat, because it does happen sometimes that I don't see things. Last week I did miss the Su-22. So, yeah. Poke us if there's something that we haven't seen.
Yeah, the Su-22, that's quite a new sort of, that's the thing that's happening. Yeah.
They'd been talking about it for a while, but had not really shown anything. We'd seen a couple of very early screenshots of modelling of the cockpit, and then quiet for quite some time. So this is the first big update we've seen.
Yeah. And I mean, hang on, I'm just getting to the website, just so I've got some notes here. It's not Tornado because it's not for DCS, but gotta admit, I'm kind of excited for India Fox Echo's Tornado.
The GR1 coming from SFS.
God, yes. I mean, have you seen the pictures of it? Have you seen the shot? It looks amazing.
India Fox Echo kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah, but India Fox Echo, I mean, they're a DCS developer.
They will be when they release their first module, which is coming soon in the form of the MB339, as I recall.
Right, exactly. See where I'm going with this?
No, I have no idea where you're going with this.
Because they also released the MB339 for Microsoft Flight Sim.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. That's good to know.
Yeah.
They also released the F-35 for MSFS, and I doubt we're seeing that anytime soon for DCS. Although I really like the look of their F-35. It's nice.
Yeah. But, like, maybe? You know, Miracle on Ice?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Do they believe? Miracle on Ice last second? Maybe. I mean, like looking at the pictures of it for Microsoft Flight Sim, it looks stunning.
It does.
Admittedly, I've not seen anything of the cockpit, but see, the real challenge of bringing this to DCS is going to be systems and flight model. I mean, like, I'm sure they're going to do something pretty good for Flight Sim because the capability of that platform for flight modeling. I mean, okay, I know we're kind of going off the whole thing given that we're DCS news, but like, recent things that have come out now that developers are starting to really get to grips with that engine and understand what it can do. Like, I've just got to point at the Phoenix A320, like the flight model on that is incredible.
I'm a big fan. I am a big fan of that.
And a lot of that is because they can, like, one of the things with the architecture of Microsoft Flight Sim is that you can totally bypass their engine. You can completely externalize the flight model, which I think is what they've done with the Phoenix A320.
I know that most of the systems are externalized. I don't know about the flight model. The next thing they're actually working on just now is an external engine model, because they currently use the MFSS engine model, which they intend to replace.
So, I mean, the real challenge about bringing something like the Tornado into DCS is going to be the the systems modeling and the flight model. But maybe they might be able to do it.
The Tornado is a fairly complex aircraft, and you're really not operating that without proper multi-crew.
Yeah. So Byron, just sort of bringing up the point about Microsoft doesn't care about license as much as Eagle Dynamics. So that I was on that train as well as to why there isn't a Tornado in DCS. Apparently, not the case. Apparently, it was somebody misspoke, and actually, there isn't any issues with sort of the license with the Tornado. It's just nobody's really explored it, and it was, I think Matt Wagner came back. It was a couple of years ago now, actually, and corrected the history on it and said, no, we never said that. Actually,
it was never Eagle Dynamics. It was Polychop.
Yeah,
because this is if my memory serves me right. I'm sure chat will correct me if I'm wrong. Polychop were originally talking about making a Tornado, and it was they who came out and said, Actually, the license holder has said no.
Yeah. But the thing is that the license holder said no to Polychop.
Yeah.
It's so like it then kind of came out and that Matt Wagner went on record and said actually there isn't a problem with getting a tornado. It's just nobody's really properly explored it and all that kind of stuff. So he said it is entirely possible that there could be a tornado in DCS. So
nice.
Yeah. But
that's
there
probably, I would say for sure, one major aircraft that we're missing in the DCS stable. I also, I might be the only person in the world who wants this. I would also love to see a Jaguar, especially a late model Jaguar.
So I understand that the Jaguar has been explored as an option, and that is a definite no.
Okay.
That is a kind of not happening. Sorry.
Is Sipcat or whatever?
Yeah, it's whoever owns the license now. That has actually been squashed, and I think there was some strange OPSEC, reason for it, which is like, how the fuck is that relevant now? But there we go.
Fair enough.
So that's that. Tech Gaming 45 saying getting data for the Tonka would be difficult. If you buy the Tonka, getting data for the Tonka being difficult, you mean the shit version, which is the F3. Yes. The GR1, actually not so much. The GR1, there's nothing really outstanding that's classified about it. The GR4, yeah, there's going to be some stuff there that is going to be hard to get. But the GR1, or the IDS, actually, if you were doing the European variants, yeah, not a problem. But the F3, yeah, you'd have some issues because the Fox Hunter radar is still pretty damn classified, because it was actually a really fucking good radar. Like it kind of, my understanding of it was that it was on a par with the F14 in terms of its capability and range and things that it can do. So it's still kind of, yeah, we're not really talking about that. But the IDS, yeah, actually probably, most of that's out in the public domain now. You'll be able to get hold of that. But yeah, the GR4 would be a bit tricky.
And that doesn't surprise me because the MOD still considers the radar from the Sea Harrier to be classified and won't give information on that either.
Yeah. The Jag wouldn't work as the curvature of the world isn't modeled. I don't get that. Sorry. I'm confused.
I'm also confused. I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah, okay. I'd love a Jaguar, actually.
Me too.
God, I mean, to go from being a failed trainer jet to being, one of the
Premier CAS aircraft.
Premier CAS aircraft. It's yeah, I'd love to see one, but sadly that's been probably squashed.
I think I just figured out what tech gaming means, because that's how that it would need that much runway distance to take off. I think I just got it.
It did take a lot of runway. With its weird double bogies as well. Like,
yeah. Good one. Cool. There was something else I was going to mention. Oh, yes. So, yeah, we're kind of at the end, I guess, of the DCS news. There was two things that I wanted to bring up with chat before we close out. One of them was that I've recently obtained a copy of Command Modern Operations, and I'm really rather enjoying it, and I wanted to ask chat, are any of you interested in seeing CMO videos? Would you like to see me create a scenario and play it out? Because I've been having quite a lot of fun playing around with 1980s tech and putting it to the test in different scenarios, in the form of the HMS Invincible and Sea Harriers, which I've been finding quite fun to play with. But yeah, Command Modern Operations, what do you think? The other thing I would say, yes, more Tarkov, says Frantic. Yes, I should do more Tarkov as well. And then the other question I would have is, does anyone have any particular things they would like me to cover for next week's tutorial video? Because I'm still putting the FA-18C on hold for now while I'm waiting for the weapons to become more sensible.
Yeah.
So if there are certain things you wanted me to cover, I could do.
I'm going to suggest something. I would say once you've got to grips with CMO, do some tutorials for that, because there is a lack of decent tutorial material for CMO. There is a couple of people who are very good, but they are super deep and very groggy. So I think approachable tutorials for CMO would work really well. Obviously, you're going to have to take time to get to grips with it, but because CMO is super, super deep. I too have played with it, and I think it's fantastic what it does. It's like the most amazing sandbox. You can just like kind of sit there and think, hey, what if the HMS Invincible went up against the Nimitz? Like you can do that if you want. What if Britain in 2015 decided to invade Bolivia? You can do that. It's absolutely fantastic. And finally, Byron Farrer saying P. Gatcombe exactly was the guy I was thinking in my head.
He's very good. He is very good. I've been using his videos.
But like his stuff is like, again, it's very like, it's a commitment. It's a serious commitment to start watching his videos. So like, I think if you hit like the middle ground, and in the way, like, with your DCS videos, it's very distilled. It's very kind of, we're going to go through everything, but it's very focused. Like, I think if you did that with CMO, I think that would be really good.
Very well. It sounds like a good suggestion. And there's been a few people replying in the chat saying they're up for some CMO videos, so that's really cool. Recret Nightfire. I'm very new to DCS, and I just wanted to say thank you for having made DCS. I don't think I made DCS, but I know what you mean, the videos. I've been having nothing but fun learning the AV8B Harrier and going through all the ups and downs with it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I would be making these videos anyway because I really enjoy making tutorial content, but of course hearing that people can actually make use of it is very rewarding. There's a really good Cold War Italy versus Albania scenario from Cmano that I love. It says Kartoba. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think, is there anything from your back catalogue that needs to get revisited because of updates?
Almost certainly. Mostly the F-16. I would say, which is why I did one this week, and I did another one not that long ago. Frantic Stone saying, how about some Apache stuff? I've got to say, I'm not your man when it comes to the Apache. I've barely touched it. I have been a front seater with this gentleman here on a couple of occasions, but I'm very, very far. I would have to do a lot of training to be able to do tutorial videos on the Apache.
And I need
it's not finished.
I need to get caught up with the Apache because obviously I had to take some medical leave. So I've not really touched the controls. I have kind of kept up with the developments. Like the big thing that's happened in the Apache is the target state estimator, which that's super hot. So it kind of like there was a lot of people who weren't really sort of figuring out what the LMC, the linear motion compensator, was for, and it was kind of like, I don't really get how it works, and that's because the target state estimator wasn't in yet, which is the other part of that system. So the linear motion compensator, basically, you the way it works is that you're not moving the targeting the targeting systems left and right and up and down. You're changing its acceleration and the rate that it moves at. And when you get it all zeroed out, it should follow nicely what you're tracking. And when you do that, the target state estimator takes that data and goes, oh, okay, you're moving at this speed at that distance, and then offsets the gun.
Yeah, computes the lead.
Yeah, so it calculates all that kind of stuff, and then you can basically you get your motion all zeroed out. Give it a couple of seconds. TSE goes, cool, I know what's going on. Press the button. 3 rounds. Target goes away. So that's super exciting stuff. So I'd say like where the Apache is. In stuff that doesn't use the fire control radar, like it's pretty functional. It's pretty functionally complete. There's not much. Like there's a few things with stability systems for the autopilot that is kind of getting there. But yeah, it's still like a really functional system. Like, and then we've got the fire control stuff. So for coin, like Apache's like there, it's totally it's kind of done. But for the kind of big set piece battles that we can get in DCS when the FCR comes in, that's the next evolution. And like, you know that meme where it goes, you know, like first thing and it's the little brain, and then the second thing it's like the brain slightly active, and the third thing is like lots of light, and then the fourth thing's like the head exploding. Right. That the fourth box in that meme is the FCR.
Yeah, it does so much. Well, that combined with the data link, I guess.
Yeah, like when you get to the FCR, that's when you're like because when the Apache came out and we started before I had to take time off, and we started like working out the training and kind of what we needed to teach, like we really drank from the fire hose on how to operate the Apache. You know, it was just a full on kind of stop. And there's tons, and then like just like I know when the FCR comes down the line and we have to add the FCR into that, it's just like there's going to be some people whose brains are going to melt. Like it's going to separate the wheat from the chaff, I think.
When I think about the TSE, it mostly reminds me of the fire control computer that you find in a tank, because that's kind of the same deal.
Absolutely. Yeah, kind of like tracking, and then you relays and it gives you the offset and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Very familiar feeling, because I just spent a month in my quieter moments when I could get on the computer playing the demo for Gunner PC. And oh my god, that was so much fun.
Yeah, Gunner Heat PC is great. Big shout out to that.
Yeah. Of course, the demo's finished now, but I understand they're releasing quite soon anyway, so that's gonna be pretty good. So yeah, it's very similar, which kind of makes sense given that an Apache is a flying Abrams.
Yeah, kind of.
So yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. But that's kind of what's going on with the Apache. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rectret saying, would you perhaps be up for remaking a Harrier tutorial video? The youngest one I found so far is a few years on it already. Actually, I've done addendum videos for anything that has changed in the Harrier, so all of my Harrier videos are still accurate, if you don't find any addendums associated. And the only addendums I have so far are to do with the targeting pod and the Maverick. Those are the only two major things that have changed. Apart from that, all of the videos in my playlist are still accurate, as they're recorded. But I will, of course, go back and update those videos should it ever be the case that they're no longer correct.
Thomas, I'm just sort of seeing Thomas's comment here. CMO tutorials would be great. I thought it would be fun to do a scenario in CMO and replicate it or part of it in DCS mission editor for multiplayer mission cross-pollination. Actually, do you know, like in the back of my head, I've had this crazy idea about like CMO and DCS working together.
Well, and let me tell you something, dotChuckles.
Go on.
Both games have Lua import-export functionalities and Lua scripting. So now I'm not saying it would be easy because it would not be easy. But there might be ways.
Top gear. How hard can it be?
I think it could be very hard. However, it's not in the realms of impossible. They do both have mechanisms for integrating with external scripting. So there might be a way. Might in strong comments to link the two together. Maybe.
Because you could build using sort of the mission builder in CMO, and then you have a multiplayer player come and pop up online in CMO, and then effectively you assign them that mission.
There is no multiplayer in CMO.
No, I know. No, I know. But like a in DCS multiplayer,
Aha.
they get brought in live through Lua into the game, and then you effectively assign that aircraft the mission from the mission builder in CMO.
Aha. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on saying that, cool. CMO does have a plan to have multiplayer soon. And I think even at some point this year, maybe. So they will have it eventually, which would eventually mean that you could perhaps use multiplayer as a way of injecting commands into CMO.
Yeah, I mean, I was really thoroughly impressed with like all the stuff that goes on under the hood in CMO. You know, it's a very, like, it doesn't look it, because, you know, how deep can that simulation be when you're seeing it on, you know, 2D representation on the screen? But there's a lot going on under the hood, like in the way that it is simulating radar and electronic warfare. I mean, to an extent, its radar simulation is probably more in depth than DCS. You know, it's crazy high tech what they're doing. You know, and I mean, let's not forget as well that this software is actually primarily made for militaries. You know, we're getting a cut down, sanitized version. And it's really impressive, and the integration with TACView that it has as well is fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay, well, the feeling that I'm getting then is that people are quite on board with me making CMO videos. So I'm not making any promises around timescale, because it will almost certainly take me a bit of time to be ready to do that kind of stuff. But I will work on some CMO content, I think. And perhaps now it's the time to do our usual. And as Tog said, hashtag pimp the VAF.
Pimp the VAF.
Oh yeah, you know we're gonna.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Virtual Air Force, the VAF, it's the creation originally of both myself and this fine gentleman here, dotChuckles. We've been running it for quite a few years now. It's really taken off, I would say, in the last couple of years. And we now, it's a squadron that has a kind of opt-in milsim approach. So we accept people who want to join as freelancers and fly any aircraft, and you dip their toes into our various training and mission sessions whenever they like, with no particular need to comply with any training or whatever. Alternatively, if you want to go full in for a slightly more milsim approach, we have numbered squadrons which carry out full basic training, plus the possibility to do additional certifications. And we currently have squadrons for the F-14, the F-16, the F-18, the Harrier, the A-10, and the Apache. And we're recruiting for all of those squadrons. You'd be very, very welcome. And we do training sessions every Tuesday at 8 p.m. UK time. And we also do missions every Thursday, also at 8 p.m. UK time. All are welcome. And also, you'll see the Discord link posted in the chat there. We also have the Discord link in the show notes below if you're watching this after the fact. Everybody is welcome, even if you just want to jump in and chat to fantastic people, such as myself and dotChuckles and various other people who are in the squadron. You're very welcome just to come along and hang out. But if you would like to fly with us, you're very, very welcome to do so. Please join the VAF. Your online squadron needs you.
Yeah, and I think what I want to call out about the VAF, is the other aspects. Is that I don't know, a lot of people say this about their own organizations, but everybody's really nice. That's the thing. We have we have a kind of almost no arseholes policy.
Yes,
so what you are going to get if you join the VAF is mature people who have a bit of a life and can balance that and are really just down to earth good folks. It's a nice place to hang out with some like-minded interesting people. So I would definitely say, even if you come along and don't really fly, but you want to just come and hang out with a bunch of folks that might feel similar to you, we're around, and we're totally happy to have people like that.
Very, very much so. Absolutely. And Byron Farrow coming back. The Mirage F1 missile is a Matra R530. He found it. It's an early 530 with a modern electro-optical system.
Ooh, exciting, exciting.
Very cool.
And I just want to say, Tog mentioning Sea Power Naval Combat in the Missile Age. It has been on my wish list on Steam for ages. It's something that popped up from Microsoft, like Microsoft, the reemergence of Microsoft. And yes, Microprose. Yeah, it's very much on my radar. See what I did there.
Fantastic. Well, that's pretty much it for the DCS news for this week. He's been dotChuckles. I've been Deepak, as always. And I post a tutorial video every Saturday at 6:30 PM UK time. Currently undecided as to what I'm going to do, but it's probably going to be another F-16 video while I wait for the FA-18C to mature a little. And that's always followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now. We're just edging up towards 5,000 subscribers on the channel, so I want to give a big shout out to all of you. Thank you very much for your support. You've made this channel what it is, and really appreciate that. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and comment, and fly safe. We'll see you all next time.
Just before you go, just before you sign off, Sticky Wiggy, I hope the F1 launches with SAF skins. Absolutely, because the version of that aircraft that I have a family tied to was the South African Air Force version. My uncle was a maintainer on the F1CZs. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of excited for the F1. Anyway, continue wrapping it up, or we'll never get out.
Very much so. Okay, fly safe, everybody, and we'll see you all next time. Ta-ta.